Here are 10 things every employer must know when setting up a business in the UAE. So if you're building a team here, the labor law gives you a very clear framework to operate with confidence. When you understand it properly, you hire better, you manage clearly, and you scale smoothly. So let's dive straight in, shall we? Number 1, employment contracts. Employment contracts must follow the UAE labor law that applies to your business. All employees must have a compliant written employment contract. And remember, fixed term contracts are now the standard here. A common confusion here is that many employers assume their global template will work here. It won't, unless it's aligned with the UAE labor law requirements. Number 2, probation has clear rules in the UAE. Now, probation can be up to 6 months in the first part of somebody's employment. And something that I see very common is employers think that they can terminate immediately during probation. Not true. Notice is still required under the law. Number 3, notice periods are mandatory. After probation also, notice periods must be between 30 and 90 days and must be stated in the contract. Again, a common confusion here is that some believe notice only applies to employees resigning. I've got news for you. It applies to employees and employers. Number 4, working hours are regulated. The standard working hours in the UAE are 8 hours per day, 48 hours per week. And during Ramadan, the hours are reduced by 2 hours. A common confusion here is that reduced Ramadan hours apply to Muslim employees that are fasting, but actually they apply to all employees in the private sector. Number 5, overtime. Overtime must be paid at the legally defined rates and depends on timing. Some employers out here assume overtime only applies to junior staff. However, the law really does not specify any such classification. Number 6, annual leave, rather paid annual leave, is a legal right for employees here in the UAE. They are entitled to 30 calendar days per year of service. Some get this confused by converting calendar days into working days without fully understanding the right calculation. So the right calculation is very important to make sure employees get the right entitlement. Now it's number 7, which is end of service benefit, which is very unique to UAE, and this must be calculated correctly. Gratuity is calculated on basic salary and length of service. And the common confusion here is where the weightage for basic salary is incorrectly implied. It should be the largest component of the total salary. Now number 8, which is WPS compliance, which is essential for mainland companies, and they must process salaries through this wage protection system. What happens here often is that employers pay employees on time, but this is not enough. Salaries must also be calculated correctly to maintain that WPS compliance threshold. Now, number 9, which is about deductions. Salary deductions here are strictly regulated. There are clear limits where deductions can happen from an employee's salary. And employers often deduct for damages, shortages, or training without proper legal basis. Please remember, deductions must comply with the UAE labor law limits and procedures at all times. And this brings me to the last one, which is number 10. That is record keeping, and this is not optional. Employers are required to maintain accurate employment records, contracts, payroll documentation, leave records, and even incidents. So remember that this should be something that is prepared not only when an issue arises, but remember that proper records must be maintained consistently and not retroactively. So when you understand these fundamentals, you create clarity for your team and also credibility for your business. The UAE labor law is here to provide structure, and when you work within that structure, growth really becomes far more stable. If you found this video helpful, like, share, and follow for more practical HR insights for businesses operating in the UAE. If you like support applying this properly to your business, reach out to us. We help companies build compliant, well-structured HR infrastructure across the UAE. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video.